Oh, good evening. How are you guys doing? Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. So, I wanted to continue on from my video, Stress and the Empath. This is to be continued from the last video. So, stress absorption and the empath. Last time I spoke about the empath and how we tend to absorb other people's energies and how that energy sets up in our bodies as sickness, illness, disease, and pains, deterioration of muscles, and deterioration of brain matter, brain cells, and things of that nature, because we hold so much in. Empaths are like a sponge, an energetic sponge. We soak up all the energy to the point to where it overloads us to a certain extent. Not even a certain extent. A lot of empaths go fully ill from being that energetic sponge, and stress, not only from the world and from jobs and people being around them, family members, children, being exposed to a lot of different energies online, social media, being out in public, and weather and things of that nature that deal with us, that not deal with us, that will cause us to have energy overloads and overwhelming feelings as far as stress goes, that will cause us to have a lot of pains in our bodies. We'll have stress, not only on our own part, but also from the outside or the external world, which is also a source that will cause us to deteriorate and age quicker. So when an empath realizes, because a lot of empaths specifically don't realize that they are empaths, so they tend to get sick and die, or they'll be in a mental institution, or they'll be in the psych wards and prisons. I mean, everywhere, stuck in cancer treatment centers. I mean, empaths are everywhere. It's a lot of us that just don't know who we are. This is calling out the empath. If you don't know that you're an empath, please feel free to watch the empath series, if you will. So maybe it'll help you out and, kind of figure out who you are and what you need to do in order to defeat those stressful situations and those stressful feelings. Empaths, in order for an empath to switch gears, an empath must, emphasis on must, spend a lot of time alone in the quiet to rebalance, reflect, and of course to recharge. Empaths are introverted, and in order for an empath to, like I said, switch gears, they must be alone and in deep meditation and reflection. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of reflection. Lots of reflection. You got to take things into consideration, retrospection. You got to look inside of you and start asking yourself a lot of questions about, why am I feeling this way? Is this really my, baggage to carry? Why do I feel like I'm carrying everybody's weight on my shoulder? Is why? You have to go in and internalize, really, literally internalize everything, and reflect and focus on the root cause of the issues that you are having with your mental health, your physical, and your emotional health when it comes to being an empath. comes this switching of gears through reflection. So to rebalance and recharge comes through meditation. Remember, quiet time and reflection put together by yourself equals meditation. So whatever you're thinking about, whatever you're trying to sort out and figure out and find the root cause and find the solution, that's meditation. That's a part of meditation. There's silent meditation where you can, if you ever get to a point to where you master your mind, there's a part of meditation to where you don't think about anything at all. And that takes a lot of discipline. A lot of self-discipline in order to get to that level of having no thoughts whatsoever. None. No thoughts. But being that a lot of people aren't on that type of level to even stop and focus on a thought for 17 seconds or 10 seconds or even 5 seconds because their brain and their thoughts and their subconscious mind is running rampant. It's very difficult for people to do those things, but for an empath, you must spend a lot of time, I'm going to keep saying a lot of time alone in the quiet. See, it's peaceful. Ain't no noises. It's quiet in my house. I don't have any televisions in my house. None. I have no TVs in my house. As an empath, televisions are distracting. The implications of a television comes through your vision, your visual. You see what I'm saying? As an empath, I cannot have certain shit in my visual radius. So I do not have any televisions in my house. And our only person who's gonna have one is my daughter and my son, but that's gonna be in the living room, in her room. I don't want any TVs in my room at all, none whatsoever. I want to keep my house clear, clean, and quiet. There is no television in my damn house, none. The only thing I have is my phones and my laptop. My daughter got her shit, but other than that, there's not gonna be no TVs in my house. And it's for a specific fucking reason. I guard myself as an empath. Television, visual, and I'm a witch on top of that. And I can manifest things quickly. So knowing who I am and knowing what my makeup is as it pertains to my spiritual being, I will not keep anything in my household that has anything to do with a TV. So, no. This comes through rebalancing, reflecting, and recharging. Comes through meditation, being around nature, bodies of water, listening to peaceful and tranquil music if you can, cleansing baths, and mental and emotional agility. So as an empath, we already went through the meditation, being around nature, hugging trees, watching the bees and the birds float and just fly, and the clouds float on the air, however the fuck they float, just watching the clouds go by or feeling, your heart with that earth energy or standing your feet in some dirt or grass and pulling in that earth energy. As an empath, once you realize who you are and you start to get a hold of who you are, you'll be able to literally feel the energies that come from the earth. You'll start to become more self-aware, consciously aware of who you are as an empath. And the more that you become self-aware, the more that you'll be able to control yourself and control your reality and to control your life and how you choose to live and how you manifest and things of that nature. Being in a body of water for an empath is like being floating in the astral plane. You know, astral plane is weightless. Body of water is weightless. You put an empath in a body of water and you just float and you just feel yourself and you feel that energy that's in that water, and you're recharging, you're repowering, and you're regrouping, you're taking on that energy, and you're allowing yourself to cleanse through that water and feel yourself released into that water, whether you're taking a bath, a shower, in a pool, at the beach, in the ocean, or a lake, or even a pond. You know, that's a part of being tranquil. That's also a form of meditation, rejuvenation, and self rebalancing, you know. But also, as an empath, if you feel like you need to go seek professional help to get perspective on certain things while coming into the full knowledge of who you are, then please go. I would hate to see somebody's life ruined because they didn't know who they were and why they are the way that they are. Simple psychology and behavioral analysis will help you figure out who you are. Thought that was my boyfriend. That's my client. Anyway. In order to gain mental and emotional agility, all of these things for an empath is necessary. You know, once you become enlightened about who you are and you're able to master yourself, you will gain mental and emotional agility. You'll be able to break through those barriers that are holding you back emotionally and mentally. And then once you start breaking through those barriers of day-to-day activities and day-to-day fires is what they call it in the business world, putting out those, you know, those little fires that you have throughout the day, you'll find yourself becoming a lot stronger and able to endure and persevere through certain obstacles with no problem, because you're able to fine tune yourself more easier or with less difficulty. I'm not going to say easy or easier. Nothing is easy. It'll be less difficult for you to endure and persevere through tough times. And in order to cultivate the mental and emotional agility, it goes right back to meditation, being around nature, bodies of water, listening to peaceful and tranquil music, and cleansing baths. Also, setting healthy boundaries. You know, empaths, we tend to let anybody run over us. Oh, it's okay. It's all right. No, they're just in a bad mood. Or, oh, I'm pretty sure he has a reason behind it. He probably just had a bad day. Stop making excuses for people. Set healthy boundaries. No, don't do that to me. That is not okay. Do not touch me. Do not make fun of me. Don't talk about me. You don't even know me. You know, set healthy boundaries. Draw the fucking line somewhere and let that person know if they gonna keep up, you're gonna do what you gotta do. But before you can even do that, you have to understand who you are and build up the strength to even open your mouth as an empath. Because empaths, we tend to be a lot timid, you know, in some aspects, because we're so loving. We're heartfelt people. We're givers. Like, we got big ass hearts, and we give. If we could give the skin off our motherfucking backs for somebody, we would. Because that's how an empath is just built. We have an extreme amount of empathy, but little to no mental, physical, or emotional agility. See, we're always over giving of ourselves, and that opens the door of emotional, mental abuse, being taken advantage of, being somebody's doormat. You must cultivate mental, emotional, and emotional agility as an empath in order to rise, survive, and thrive. You know, emotional agility, to me, is defined as, for an empath, You must cultivate this in order to gain strength and power over yourself. Because once an empath becomes master of self, we can pretty much master all the energy that's around us. Because we are that energy. We connect to it automatically. Just like, let me see. All right. This is a little analogy. Make sure I plug this in. Energy as an empath, and that empath is surrounded by that invisible energy that a lot of people don't know that's there, they're not aware of. Just like this power cord powers up this phone right here. You see, you plug it in. And look, you, just as an empath, has to plug into that power that's around them. That power cord, that energetic field that surrounds an empath. And once an empath taps in, an empath can pretty much control damn near everything as an empath. So, I'm telling an empath who they are, so they don't die off, so they don't become defeated, so that they are not being ran over, held back, or manipulated or abused. I made it through, and I want to help somebody else make it through. You know, so empaths must find unique ways that resonate with them. You know, not all empaths resonate with every option. Some empaths are more drawn to nature and dirt and grass and animals and fish and things like that. And then some empaths are more tuned in with the energies that are around them. And then some empaths are full the whole of nature, earth, fire, water, air, all of that. Empaths are tuned in to certain things, and then an empath who is fully connects with everything around them, because that empath is self-aware. So an empath must find unique ways to recharge. One of many is to pour into their souls empowering and uplifting messages, words of wisdom and enlightenment, in order to draw in strength and endurance during good and not so good times. This brings positive energy to the empath. The inpouring into self of enlightenment and empowerment also brings about strength and power in one's own divine right. At birth, you were already a sovereign being. You were already master of yourself. You just didn't know it. So you, by divine right, have that power to control yourself. You have that divine right to have power over yourself, to govern yourself as an empath. When an empath is seemingly spiritually dry, because we can go through spiritual droughts too, because of how we give ourselves away so much to other people. We can drain ourselves so much from our heart, so much from our mind. We're just pushing everything. Yes, take my energy. Yes, healing energy. Yes, loving energy. Yes, conversational energy. Yes, all this energy, all just energy. We're just putting it out. We got more output than we have input. So we're giving too much of ourselves away, and we become spiritually dry. Like a drought. In order to defeat those feelings of emptiness and drought, an empath must place and position themselves around those who reek of spiritual power and enlightenment. An empath gotta be around people who pour into them spiritually to fill them up and to feed their soul, to revive them, to breathe life into them. If you are not around people like that is a death sentence for an empath. If an empath does not have any spiritual connections, if they do not have anybody who reeks of spiritual power and enlightenment and knows and that person knows who they are, and they know more about spiritual enlightenment, and they just reek of this power and this enlightenment, and they're speaking these powers out, and they're speaking this life into people. An empath will most certainly turn dry and die out. And when I say die out, they will slowly decay, and some rapidly decay, because they give so much of themselves on a day-to-day basis. You have empaths out here having strokes. You have empaths out here having illnesses and passing out and feeling dizzy and being sick and being weak and being in and out of the hospital and got lymphedema and all kinds of shit. Got fluid set up around the heart and got fluid right here in the neck. And as an empath, you got to get all that. You got to get all that shit out of you. An empath is a natural healer. Once you realize who you are as an empath, you will learn how to draw all the energy that's around you into you. I call this for myself, I call it reset mode, or self-healing mode. Because before I was a demonic witch, I was practicing a lot of mind magic. I was doing hoodoo, I was doing voodoo, I was doing Reiki, I was doing all that. That's how I figured out who I was, because I was into all that spiritual stuff at a certain point in my life. Just spiritual, everything just came, just all at me at once. And that's how I figured out who I am. So I was going through a spiritual awakening while being abused by my husband. So I got that shit going on, and then I got this shit going on. I'm being destroyed but rebuilt at the same time. So when an empath realizes who they are, they can go inside of themselves and they can heal themselves at the drop of a dime. An empath, you can take your own hands and heal your own mind. You can, once you learn how to control your thoughts as an empath, you'll be able to touch your own self and heal your own mind. You're a human being. You lay hands on yourself, empath. You don't need nobody out there doing it for you. You lay your hands over your heart or over your womb or any area of your body. Once you learn how to work with that energy, and that's why I call it light workers. Light workers work with light energy. They draw from the darkness and pull the light in, and they learn how to heal their body with light energy. Light energy, not darkness. So once you're able to do those things as an empath, you're a fucking force to be reckoned with. Don't let nobody steal your light, because they steal your light, they're going to take you out. And once the empath finds people who are like them, who are spiritually tough and are able to endure and persevere and pour into them, it causes a domino effect for the empath. Because once the lesser empath or the weaker empath is speaking in power spiritually, that empath begins to draw strength from the empath who has the power of them over themselves, energetically and spiritually. And once they interact with that person who is greater in power of self than them, and that person starts pouring into them, it's natural for an empath to go out and find other empaths and pour that same knowledge and wisdom and understanding and power into that other empath. So it creates a domino effect of all empaths coming together, linking up. The empath is a force to be reckoned with. Once the empath understands and realizes who they are unstoppable. Anyway, the greater light leading or lending energy and power to the lesser light. So after I have given all of my knowledge and poured out all of my wisdom and understanding to the lesser light of the empath in this video, that's me pouring out all my energy and giving my heart and my knowledge and my understanding to the empath. After I've passed on that knowledge, I, as an empath, have to go and regroup to calm my mind, to realign myself, because I've given myself and my power, my energy, my speech, my thinking, all of myself, my power, to the lesser empath, so that empath can grow greater and endure and persevere. And then I go back and regroup and pull my shit back together because I got all this energy and I can see it around me and I can feel it around me. I can pull it right back in and re-energize and have no problems. As an empath. So that is video number 2 for the empath. I hope that somebody somewhere has gotten closer to their self, learned something from me, have gotten closer to their spiritual journey, their spiritual awakening, or whatever, or what have you. You worship whoever the fuck you want to worship. I don't give a damn. That's not up to me. That's up to you because you have free will. That's all I have for now. I hope that everybody has a great day, night, morning, evening, afternoon, wherever the fuck you are in the world. Hail Lucifer, because that's who I worship. Thank you all for your time. Thank you for listening. Thank you for taking the time to watch. I hope that I have helped somebody somewhere become a better person. Good night.